really not so much about hard science. It's much more about communities and people helping each other out. So let's take a look at cardiac rehab. We've got a fully equipped facility, a whole range of resistance training equipment, cardio equipment, and those who here might think it bears a striking resemblance to Graham Lindenberg's physiotherapy practice. But we've got a full set of working equipment with staff with years of experience there. I think we all take cardiac rehab as part of the environment. That's what happens. You get sick, you have your heart attack, you have your incident, and you go on to a rehab program. This is not such a long time ago, 1995. Prior to that, the standard treatment for post-incident management was bed rest and avoiding any agitation and avoiding exercise, you know. So it was a huge paradigm shift when these programs were really pioneered and formulated in the mid-90s. So these are the elements of the program, and they haven't changed since 1995. There's a medical evaluation of the patient, exercise prescription, risk factor modification, education and counseling, and behavioral intervention. So the range, the spectrum of interventions is actually hugely vast, and you can see it goes way beyond straightforward medical evaluation. We're talking right now about change. Many years later, what's happened? It's been classified as a class 1 indication. That means it's been through all the various assessments and it's been deemed both useful and effective in treating most contemporary clinical practices for, and I'll summarize this list somewhat. Post-surgery or transplant, stable and unstable angina, heart failure and comorbidities, heart valve disease, peripheral arterial disease. And looking forward, very much the same group of people. This is 2015, so this is quite a recent review. Again, looking for the meta-analyses, etc. And I must say, Graham likes to drop names. So this guy, Neil Gordon, that's his mate. I didn't believe him at first, but it is. And this guy's a top. He's a top honcho really in this whole paradigm. So it's quite nice to have close connection to the people who really have pioneered this whole story. So this I pinched from their review and from out to people. And obviously one doesn't want to over-service, but definitely not under-service either. Now there's been a lot of learnings for me out of this chart. As I understood cardiac rehab, it was very much about this, what they call secondary prevention. I didn't understand the term when I first heard it. Secondary prevention is once you've already had your first incident, you've had your heart attack, you've had your bypass surgery, whatever it is, you don't want things to progress. Yeah? So you want to either try and redress, take a few steps back, or you want to prevent things from going any further. That's secondary prevention. And I thought that's what a cardiac rehab program is. Yeah? Am I alone in that? I thought it's a group of people who just had heart attacks, who just had bypass surgery, and they're now trying to get well again. That's what it was maybe in the mid-1990s. The focus now internationally is obviously, yes, it's still includes secondary prevention, but a huge part of the focus now is on primary prevention. Primary prevention. In other words, that's when you are finding that risk people coming through your facility. They may not be candidates for surgery yet, or they may still be ambulatory and be self-sufficient and whatever else, but the candidates to benefit greatly are going on to one of these programs. And that seems to be internationally how these programs work. And I think for me that was a big paradigm shift, and that's, for me, this is the take-home message I think for everybody in this room. These programs have proven to be hugely effective. If you look at the statistics prior to 95 and post-95, the kind of outcome that you're talking about, the risk reduction, the morbidity reduction, mortality reduction, is profound across all those different categories of disease that we put forward. Subsequently, there have been other revascularization therapies and things which have come on different medications. There's been no statistical improvement in the outcomes beyond the intervention of the cardiac rehab program. In other words, since the rehab program, there have been no real medical advances which have made the outcomes of those patients any better. It still remains probably our best intervention in affecting those outcomes. But the programs cannot exist. They cannot exist. They're only dealing with the secondary care. They have to also service people with primary prevention. You know, I'm just bringing guidelines, and I said to them, don't send me a list of all the sick in the lane as a pilot project. You know, they love to do this in the corporates. They give you the sick list where's the people? They say sort those people out and then we'll run it through the company. It doesn't ever work like that for various reasons. Not only are they high risk, but when running a program, you want the program to support the people. You want those people who are still role models, those people who are positive, those people who are ambulatory, they must carry the program along. So while the healthier community can carry the highest risk second lane, the second lane cannot carry the program. So I'm saying that in the spirit of community. If we want this program, I think it's good for all of us. It's good for the program, it's good for the patient, it's good for the hospital, but it's going to require support across the board at this level of primary intervention. So I think it's just, for me, this is important, kind of a mind shift, because who the candidates are for the program, what the program needs to survive, and how we're going to make it work for all of us. Any questions on that? Permutations of the programs, some which emphasize more exercise, some which have more psychological and lifestyle factors. In terms of pure cardiac rehab, the exercise holds the lion's share of the benefits. But this slide really struck me as interesting. Depression, because people post-incident or peri-incident have got a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression as well. And this is just an outcome. This is the control group, and the treatment group is a group of people who went onto a cardiac rehab program, and we're looking at the mortality within that group related to depression. And I mean, the graph speaks for itself.
Very important. Okay, so he spoke a little bit about depression. I mean, if I suddenly had a heart attack and fell down and someone was jumping on my chest and then I got shoved into the hospital and they all pipes and tubes in me, I'd also be a little bit depressed. I don't know about you guys, but I would. And so depression is a big thing. Most people have depression, so we'd have a psychologist on board and just personally get them involved in a more productive lifestyle that's going to be positive, enthusiastic, where they're going to help with a whole lot of their function. They're scared to walk. They don't know how much they should walk. They don't know how they should sit. They don't know anything. They immobilized when they should be mobilized. Their confidence is down because obviously it's quite a traumatic event, and they need to be sort of walked down the path back to wellness because they certainly didn't live it in the beginning, and they certainly aren't going to live it afterwards unless they get some help. But if you know your body, a lot of this is that you just learn it. But the person who's had the heart attack and the event or respiratory, they don't know their body very well, so they don't know what they're doing. So they need to support him and they need to understand this stuff.
Yeah, they said most of the program already. We'll be the biokineticists, we'll be between the doctor, the cardiologist, and basically dealing with the patient, of course working according to the heart rate. And we have basic assessments that we'll do, especially of course after they've been to the cardiologist and the doctor and maybe the physio, and they're going to see rail as well. We will be doing the exercise program with them, be with them the whole hour of course, monitor them, their symptoms, etc. And then on a weekly basis, their weight loss, how their heart rate increases, what happens, how it decreases after exercise, all the kind of things you need to, and then of course emotionally look after the patient as well. And we'll link between the cardiologist, the doctor, the patient, also feedback sessions weekly, and we'll have a help for exercises they do as well.
We're having a modular type program. So for example, the nutrition, led to the nutritional component, I put down into a series of 12, just 7-minute long little talks.
A pathology. They are not qualified and they don't know how to prevent that pathology well enough. They concentrate on managing the pathology. So as much as I'm sure all of the cardiac practitioners will say this is great, the interest for them is not the intensity that it has to be and what that implies upon it. So what I think you need to be concentrating on is not the cardiologists, but the GPs, and possibly before the GPs. You call it a rehab program. I think it should be a lifestyle program.
The Americans are very worried at this stage because it's an aging population. They become deconditioned, then they go to an orthopod and they want a spiral fusion or speak back operation. Mortality rate is very high because of overweight, diabetes, smoking. So they've got this major concern, you've got to optimize the patient. And the surgeons in America will now not operate on you no matter how serious you do not optimize, because mortality rate and morbidity rate is too high. So you could incorporate that group into your practice as well. because patients who need spine surgery need to train for the surgery, lose weight and to optimize themselves.